So capitalism in itself is not the problem. The problem is that we are not conscious enough. So if the individual becomes more conscious, and it always happens through the individual, never the society and never through the government, always the individual becomes more conscious, then you can create wonderful things which are for the well-being of everyone and not just for our own selfish gains. So that's the society that should be present tomorrow when humans will be conscious enough. So that the individual will blossom not because of an egoic inferiority complex that you want to be better than others, just because you create what you want through love and through a deep sense of meditativeness that you feel in your heart and that you want to share with others. So it's a very different orientation, much more pure and much more free of egoism. So that's the direction we need to go to. It's not that the individual is wrong, it's not that capitalism is wrong. Capitalism is actually the best system that brings out people of poverty, because in communism you have no freedom of the individual. And it's the worst system. It might appear as more generous, but it's not more generous. It's the worst system because it doesn't allow the consciousness to rise. And the consciousness can only rise for the individual as the individual becomes more conscious. Never the society, never the religion, not the government, only for the individual, always. And if one person becomes more conscious, the whole becomes more conscious. You see, and he puts some changes in the society that people can follow, and then they can themselves become more conscious and increase the productivity of the society. So well-being and productivity are actually very compatible. They need to be compatible, they need to go together, because if you only have productivity, burnout, you'll have illnesses, you have mental problems, you'll have fear. But if your creation, if what you create, if what you produce is out of awareness, out of love of what you're doing, it's a very different orientation. In itself, it's much more pure, and it will take you to, anywhere without any limits. So that's the future, my friends. The future is not in the state. The future is in the individual, that's true, but the individual must become more conscious through meditation, through closing your eyes, feeling, before creating something from your depth, not from your mind, not from your ego, from your heart, for the well-being of the people, not just for you. And this needs to change, you see. It needs to change. So it's not capitalism that is bad in itself, it's the lack of consciousness that the individual has, actually.